Hi, and welcome to Philosopher Insights. My name is Herb Lamba. Today I wanted to talk about The Slight Edge, one of my favorite personal development books by Jeff Olson. The Slight Edge is an incredibly easy read, and he just simplifies the entire process. And I think there's a philosophy behind The Slight Edge that's so important to understand. But before I get started on that, we are living in unprecedented times. I never could have imagined in my lifetime that the entire world would be shut down. But I just hope, for everybody's sake, that you're practicing social distancing, that you're listening to the guidelines, and that you're being safe. For your family's sake and for everybody around you, it's time to stay home and it's time to take this seriously and let this play out. Because we can do our part. We all got to do our part in order for everybody else to be safe. So let me start with what is the slight edge? The slight edge are the simple daily disciplines repeated consistently over time that lead to massive success. And I love that definition because success is not difficult. He's saying it's the simple, daily, almost insignificant disciplines that you do over an extended period of time that lead to massive success. They seem by themselves to be completely insignificant, but they're not. The 5% who are successful understand this. They're not calling it the slight edge, but they understand it and they're doing it. The 95% are not doing it, don't know about it, or they know it, but they can't get themselves to do it. It's one of those two things. And I just think it's important to understand this philosophy because it brings everybody into the equation if you understand that it's the daily disciplines, the simple choices you make every day. It's not something mysterious. It's not something massive. It's not some big movement that needs to happen. You don't have to be born in a special country. You don't have to be a certain level of intelligence to be successful. The field is pretty level if you can get to understanding that it's simple daily disciplines that make the difference. And he talks about the success curve and the failure curve, and that there's no middle ground on this curve. It's either you're on the success curve or you're on the failure curve, and it happens moment to moment, choice by choice. Every single day you make choices that either put you on this curve or this curve. So if we talk about health, and I did a lot of work on my health in 2019, and I lived this, and I'll try to give a real life example here. I made a commitment somewhere along the first quarter of last year to eat a salad a day. That was my commitment. So if I eat a salad today at lunchtime, a big salad, I'm on the success curve. I eat a salad tomorrow, I'm building some momentum, I'm on the success curve. I eat another salad the next day, I'm building momentum, but then I eat a cheeseburger. I automatically put myself on the failure curve because there is no middle ground. And I love that because A, you can raise awareness and you can use this as a game for yourself to keep yourself on that curve. And also, it's motivation. I found it to be very motivating just to pay attention to this. I need to stay on this curve. And the magic behind this is simple. When I eat a cheeseburger, it's seemingly insignificant. What's the big deal? Have a cheeseburger, what's the big deal? I'm not going to die of a heart attack tomorrow, but therein lies the problem. That's why 95% of people are failing at life. That's why 5% get it, 95% don't, because that choice is insignificant. But compounded over time, we're missing this part. Compounded over time, it makes all the difference in terms of having chronic illness, in terms of getting cancer, in terms of coronary artery disease. If we're talking about health, that's just one aspect of simple daily disciplines that you can try every day. So we're missing that. That's the difference between success and failure. That's in Jeff Olson's definition. And I just love that. So every moment you pay attention, success curve, failure curve. Where are you on this curve? So next question. If the slight edge is so easy, so simple as he says, then why isn't everybody doing it? It's simple. Why isn't everybody doing it? Two reasons. Number one, it's easy to do. It's easy to do. The problem with easy to do is like Jim Rohn said, the two easies. What is easy to do is easy not to do. And that's where we are having trouble. It is easy to eat a salad a day. But it's also just as easy to not eat a salad a day. It's easy to take a walk around the block for better health, but just as easy not to do that. And most of us are on this end of the equation. We're stuck on it's easier not to do it. That's number one. The second reason is probably my favorite part of the book. And he talks about results being invisible. That we are in a society today where we're expecting quantum leaps of success. Massive leaps, like in the movies, climax after climax after climax. The reality is life doesn't work like that. Success definitely doesn't work like that. And we need to shift our mentality in order to be successful. That there's going to be lengthy plateaus. You have a little bit of improvement, lengthy plateaus. You either learn to enjoy the plateaus or you're likely to quit. The example is simple. Plant, cultivate, harvest. Understanding that between plant and harvest, the cultivation period could be extremely long. And my favorite example of all, the Chinese bamboo tree, which is the plant, cultivate, harvest example, but it resonates so well with this Slight Edge book. If I was to take a seed, a Chinese bamboo tree seed, and I like to picture myself in public, in a fresh bed of soil, I'm taking my seed, I'm planting it into the ground today. I would have to water that seed every single day for 5 years without miss in order for that seed to even show up above the ground. And then in the next 5 weeks, it'll sprout up to 90 feet. So that begs the question, was it the last 5 weeks that were key? Was it the first 5 years that were key? Or was it the whole thing? So obviously you needed that whole time for this to work. But in this particular example, had I missed a day, had I went out there and missed a day, I would have never seen those last 5 weeks. The seed would have never come above ground. And I like to picture myself doing this because this is like chasing your dream. You're out there watering day 2, day 20, day 50, day 365. And people are walking by thinking, what in the world is that guy doing? Are you crazy? It's not working. It's not going to grow. Go back home. Plant another seed. Give up already. Isn't that how you feel about when you tell people your dream and you're working your butt off every single day and it's not showing visible results? But it doesn't mean nothing's happening. That energy is being stored. Who knows when it's going to explode? Could be 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, but you have to understand that this is how the formula works. And it's different for everybody. I love that part of the book. I love that example because I think the Chinese bamboo tree is a perfect example for results are invisible. And I want to finish with the 7 slight edge habits that he brings up in the book. Let me just list them and I'll talk about 3 of them. 1 is show up. 2 is be consistent. 3 is have a positive outlook. 4 is commit to the long haul. 5 is cultivate a burning desire backed by faith. 6 is pay the price. And 7 is live with slight edge integrity. So let me talk about show up. It's easy to say that. Show up. Woody Allen said 80% of success is showing up. Okay, it's easy to say to people, show up. But why do we struggle to show up? I think you need to have strategies, systems in place in your day to help you show up. Whether that be a time block, whether that be a daily agenda. I cannot believe the number of people I've talked to who don't have a daily agenda, who don't plan out their week, don't plan out their morning, don't plan out their day, don't have any focused time to work on the things that they know are most important. Those are the strategies you need in order to show up every day. Make it easier for yourself to show up. So it's very easy to say it's common sense, but common sense is not common practice. And a lot of that has to do with our failure to put in strategies and systems that allow us to show up every day. The next one is pay the price. I believe pay the price comes in two pieces. One is understanding the price you need to pay to achieve whatever you want to achieve. And 2 is, are you willing to pay that price? And the way you understand the price you need to pay is you talk to somebody who's already done what you're doing. And you figure out what's the price. And I just want to use a simple example. I need to work 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for 3 years. 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for 3 years. That's the price. Now you have to ask yourself that all-important question. Am I willing to pay that price? Because if you're not willing to pay that price, and you're only willing to put in an hour a day, and you're only willing to work 3 days a week, then you gotta downgrade what you're expecting, and maybe that time's gonna be expanded, but at least, before you get too far up this mountain and realize, man, that's way harder than I thought. Figure it out up front. I know the price. Now you got to be willing to pay that price. And you pay that price by doing every one of those habits. Show up, be consistent, commit for the long haul. People have a difficult time doing that. So be willing to pay the price, but first you got to understand the price. Finally, the integrity. I love Slight Edge integrity, and it's really helped me to lose the 25 pounds, which I talked about last time. Integrity. And that's, what do you do when no one's looking? Can you get yourself to do what you say you're going to do? And a simple way to test yourself on this, because it builds trust with yourself. I found this with myself. The more I was able to do what I said I was going to do, because nobody's watching me, nobody's going to know, but the more I did it, the more trust I had with myself. Because you're going to have one of two conversations every day. When you go to bed at night and you say, I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to write a blog post. If you lose trust with yourself because too often you let yourself down and you don't have integrity, then your mind is going to say that, in your mind it's going to be saying, yeah, whatever. You're not going to wake up at 5. You're going to hit the snooze button. It'll be 6:15 before you get out of bed. But if you build a little bit of momentum and you start to trust yourself, then the tape recorder's a little different. It trusts you that you're going to do what you said you were going to do. So important, this part. And this really helped me. I think of all the things I've talked about, the integrity is critical. Those are the insights I wanted to share today. My name is Herb Lamba. You've been listening to Philosopher Insights. Please be safe and have a great day. Talk to you soon. Take care.